So sorry about this, guys. I meant to come back sooner, but I accidentally hit my YouTube button while I was trying to upload a video, and it started playing my favorite song, so I got lost in the jam. And then as it went off, I hit repeat a couple times. I couldn't stop jamming. Okay, so we're going to start talking about texturing. I'm only going to focus on a t-shirt because I got some other tutorials I need to do, so there's no point in me showing you how to texture pants and a t-shirt. I'm going to show you how to texture a shirt, and you can use your imagination on how the pants work. Same thing. So I noticed that this is a little bit pointy, and I want to smooth it out. So I'm going to go into sculpt mode, and I'm just going to puff it down a little bit, and then grab and pull it up a bit, and I don't know, that looks smoother to me than what we just had. Maybe it's just my imagination, maybe I'm just crazy, or both, so whatever. Alright, so we have our garment and we want to paint it in Photoshop. So the first thing we need to do is bake a shadow map for it, and this is going to help make it look a lot better, give it, basically shading while we're doing this. And there are a lot of ways to bake and a lot of techniques you can use to bake to make good stuff, but I'm only going to show you the basic ones, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I never mastered cycles. So let's start with a rather old blender bake. So you can look up cycles yourself and make prettier shadow thingies. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the shirt is on its own layer. There's nothing wrong with leaving the garment on the body when you do your bake, but sometimes the body interferes with the bake, and I found that it's a lot better to have it on its own layer, make sure everything is nice and clean. So I'm gonna scoot it on over. Actually, to be honest with you, I think we should probably go into Blender 2.79 for this instead of 7.2. 7.9 has a better baking system. It bakes hotter than the oven over here in 7.2. For example, I should tell you something first, then I'll give you the example. So in order to bake something in Blender, you have to set the amount of samples. I always call it the oven temperature. So the more samples the baking system has, the less grit will be on your texture. So I'm going to create a new one. So we're going to create a new texture for our shirt. And then I'm going to bake it. Go to world, and then we're going to set our ambient occlusion and our, was it environmental lighting? No, just ambient occlusion. And then we have our samples. By default, it's at 5. So we're going to switch it from 5 to 10. And how long it takes depends on how good your CPU is, or is it your graphics card, how good your system is. So it may take a minute, may take forever. The more samples you have, of course, the longer it'll go. But we're going to just do a quick one and do only at 10. So I'm going to come over here to our rendering tab, and we'll scroll down until we see bake. And I'm going to switch it from full render to ambient occlusion, and then we're going to hit bake. So it shouldn't take that long because it's at 10. Okay, so now you see that it's fairly smooth. It captured a bit of the quads that are here, but nothing I can really do about that. But anyway, we have our bake here. Now let's see if we were to go back to our world and turn it back into 5. Oh, I had samples of 10. Wow, neat. So I'm going to turn it back down to 5. Half amount of samples. Faster speed. And then we bake again. You see, it's not as... You see the grit. Now that could be good in some cases because, maybe it'll give this shirt some texturing to it. But you want to try to make it as smooth as possible. Now, before, you may not want this gray thing. You may want to have it all white. So you can press, I think it's normalized, and then bake, and it should bake it all in white. So it's like this. Now this is what we used to have to do back in Photoshop and manually do it. But you can just choose normalize and have it. Actually, I think I'll stick with this grit on here to give my t-shirt some sort of flavor. So once you have it saved, we are going to go and save it. Now the reason why I thought we should go into 7.9 instead of 7.2 is because 7.9 has a more powerful oven. So a bake 10 in 7.9 is like a bake 20 in 7.2. So, more power, less processing. So I do like the texture in that one a lot better. But for right now, I guess it should suffice. So I'm going to save this somewhere. Oh boy, where is our project folder? There it is. So I'm going to save it here. If it opens, and then give it a couple clicks on that and save it. Alright, so we got our t-shirt and we got our shading thingy majig. On a side note, if you wanted to make templates for people, and you know how some people are like, I need the grid. So you can actually generate that here in Blender instead of having to go and create it in Photoshop. So you can just select your garment, go into edit mode, I think. Then you go to UVs and then you select export UV layout. And then we're going to navigate back to our project folder and right here, and you can save it right there. So now when somebody says that they need the grid, you can just give them that and it exports the layout on there without you having to give away your texture that you worked on. Alright, so I think, is it Legacy Tutorial? Is it the old one? My computer is lagging something awful right now. I think I got too much VR stuff, 3D stuff. Got Marvelous still open, 2 Blenders, Second Life, my website thing, Vroid. Poor thing's gonna burst into flames. That's my workhorse. Oh. Come on, baby. Load for mommy. Alright, it's taking forever. But I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. But see, when you export it, it gives you the grid. So you don't have to make it. So yay! Convenience. Alright, so what were we doing? We were going to export the shirt so that we can paint on it. So let's export the shirt so we can paint on it. Okay, so I'm going to select our shirt and then we're going to go File, Export, OBJ. And then go back to our tutorial folder and this is our shirt for painting. OBJ. Groovy. Now we got that saved. Let's go back to our project folder and do something. Ah, here we go. T-shirt for painting. Now, if you have Photoshop installed, OBJ should be assigned to it by default. If you have something else and it's not your default program for open it, you can just click on it and then go to properties and then open with and then change and then you select Photoshop from the list. So for me it's Photoshop right there. And then after that you hit OK and then it should be able to do that. So I found that sometimes with this version of Photoshop, it does not allow you or doesn't want to open up 3D files from inside of the program. So you will have to select it from outside of the program like we are about to do now by just double clicking on it and letting it go. So wait for Photoshop to load up. It is loading up, isn't it? So, Photoshop. Alright, it's acting up. I'm going to pause it. But if you were doing it and you didn't have your computer being stressed by multiple programs, it would load right up. So I'm going to pause it and come back when we're open. Okay, hi, sorry. We got this open and now we're ready to work. I'm going to be honest, I was gone for a little bit. One Piece came out. Then Cursed Princess Club came out. Then my husband said he was coming home on time, so I had to run and go cook dinner real quick. So I had to do a lot of stuff while we were paused. But don't worry, I'm back and we're ready to start working. So when you open up Photoshop with your 3D model and you select your OBJ, it should look a lot like this. It might be turned to the side, but don't worry, it's still the same. We can just rotate it over. So, in order to maneuver inside of the 3D space, you're going to have to use the 3D tools that they provide you inside of Photoshop, which are usually down here at the bottom of the toolbar. First thing you want to do is get familiar with the tools and play around with them. So what you're mostly going to use is the 3D Object Rotate tool, which will allow you to rotate it. Now I bet you're wondering, oh, well, we can just do the top where it has all the things, then left and right and top and bottom, and then let's not forget front. Well, you're right, you could. But sometimes you can just use the roll tool to turn it where you want. And as you can see here, there's a tear in my topology and my UV map. That's just a transparent part. It won't look like that with yours. This was just mine because I had a bad, texture bake, but we'll just pretend like it's not there. So that's the thing we're going to use to rotate, and then we're going to use this to roll this tool to roll. Open the movement again. Pan lets you move it about. And I really want to do zoom in. We would use the 3D camera tool down here, zoom tool, to bring it closer to you and back. You don't want to use any of the 2D tools up here, i.e. the move tool on your thing, because it's not moving the mesh, it's moving the whole canvas. So you don't want to use those tools. You want to stick with using the 3D tools on 3D stuff and 2D tools for using 2D stuff. Let's see. Now that we have that established, let's see if we can put this back on front. See, that's because we moved it. Thank you. Now I gotta revert this. So